You know these large language models, ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini? They feel like they know everything, right? You can ask them about quantum physics or the history of ancient Rome, and boom, they spit out this incredibly detailed answer in seconds. They really do seem like these amazing fountains of knowledge.
But what if I told you there's a fundamental crack in that perfect facade? A really surprising and frankly kind of worrying flaw in how these powerful AIs handle something as basic as the difference between a fact and a belief.
I mean, think about how we've started to treat them. They're almost like infallible sources of truth. We ask them to check our work, to settle debates with our friends, to explain really complex stuff. We're building this deep reliance on their ability to just process and verify information with superhuman speed.
And this right here, this is straight from the research, and it shows the problem perfectly. On the right side, when you ask the AI to verify a fact about a Nobel Prize, it nails it, performs perfectly. But now look at the left, where a user states a false belief. The model's response is just wrong. It really struggles to separate the user's belief from the actual facts, and its performance just becomes totally unpredictable.
So, you have to ask, right? How can an AI that knows all the tiny details about Nobel laureates get so completely tripped up by a common myth? Well, this exact contradiction is what a team of researchers at Stanford University decided to dig into, and what they've found is a major wake-up call for all of us.
To really get to the bottom of this, they couldn't just ask a few random questions here and there. Nope. They had to build a whole new kind of exam for AI, one specifically designed to probe this really strange blind spot between what an AI knows as a fact and what it thinks a person just believes to be true. They call it the Kavli benchmark, and it is a beast. We're talking 13,000 questions that were carefully crafted to test 13 different ways of reasoning about knowledge and belief. This isn't just some pop quiz, it's a full-on, comprehensive stress test for an AI's understanding of truth itself. And you can see just how comprehensive this test was. The questions covered 10 different domains, from hard sciences like math and economics, all the way over to humanities, like history and law. And to make sure the AI wasn't just guessing, all the facts were pulled from highly reputable sources, places like Britannica and the Stanford Encyclopedia of Philosophy. And this exam wasn't just a simple Q&A, it had layers of difficulty. It started with a pretty straightforward fact check. Simple enough, but then it had to confirm a user's stated belief, even if that belief was totally false. And from there, it got even harder. It probed the AI's ability to second-guess a belief or untangle these complex, nested statements like, "Does James know that Mary knows the Titanic sank?" That's a real brain twister.
So the stage was set. You had the most advanced AIs on the planet going up against the toughest test of the reasoning ever created. So how did they do? Well, the results were pretty alarming.
The difference was like night and day. When it came to just verifying true facts, the models were almost flawless, scoring around 98% accuracy. But ask him to handle a user's false belief, just to confirm that the user believes something that's incorrect, and their accuracy absolutely plummets. For a top-tier model like GPT-4o, it dropped all the way down to just 64%.
And this wasn't just a small dip, we're talking a free fall. The study found that for some of the older models, there was an average drop of nearly 39% in accuracy when they moved from confirming facts to confirming false beliefs. This is not a random error, it's a systemic, consistent failure.
And here's the crucial point. This isn't a problem with one specific company or one bad model. The researchers tested 24 of the most advanced language models out there, all the big names you see here, and every single one of them had this same fundamental weakness. It's a flaw that seems to be baked into the current generation of AI. Now, this might sound like a purely academic problem, but this belief blindness has incredibly serious consequences as we start integrating these tools more and more into our actual lives. Think about the fields where accuracy isn't just important, it's absolutely critical. In medicine, law, journalism, finance, the line between a fact and what someone believes is everything. An AI that can't tell the difference, that's not just a tool, it's a liability. As the researchers themselves put it, this is not a minor bug. This failure can lead straight to misdiagnoses in healthcare, warped judgments in a court of law, and a massive amplification of misinformation across all of society. The stakes really could not be higher.
Let's make this concrete. Imagine a medical chatbot.
A patient says, "I believe cracking my knuckles is causing my arthritis." An AI that's prone to just agreeing with the user's belief might fail to give the correct medical facts. It could send that patient down the wrong path. Now just scale that one interaction across millions of users seeking help for medical, legal, or financial questions. You can see how dangerous this gets, and fast.
So what's actually going on under the hood? I mean, why is this happening? The research points to a very deep architectural reason for this flaw.
Well, at their core, these models aren't thinkers. They are unbelievably sophisticated pattern matchers. They don't have a real, robust understanding of what truth even is. They rely on superficial cues in the language, like seeing the words "I believe," to predict the most plausible next word. They lack a genuine model of the world and what cognitive scientists call a theory of mind. That's the ability to understand that other people have beliefs that are separate from your own.
And here's the real paradox. Part of the problem comes from them trying to be too helpful. These AIs have been trained to be agreeable and conversational, and that can create this weird situation where the model would actually rather agree with the user's incorrect statement than challenge it, especially if it sounds plausible. Their programming to be helpful is in direct conflict with their need to be truthful.
And this brings us to the final, critical takeaway from all this research. We are rushing to build these incredibly powerful tools into the very foundations of our society, in our hospitals, our courtrooms, our newsrooms. But if they can't master something as fundamental as the difference between what is true and what someone simply believes to be true, can we really trust them? This study suggests that before we go any further, we absolutely need to solve this problem of teaching AI what it truly means to know.